Hi, everyone. Welcome to Beaming Light. I am Danita. Beaming stands for bold, enlightened, aware, mature, insightful, nurturing, grateful. Light stands for loving, intelligent, generous, honest, and tactful. Welcome to my channel where I talk about my personal experiences, relate those experiences to song lyrics and the song lyrics to Bible verses to make it make sense in today's society. Okay. So I know I was supposed to post yesterday. I apologize. I had a huge tension headache and I spent most of the day just napping and taking ibuprofen. But I'm feeling a lot better today and I'm excited to get this message to you guys. Um so today I woke up with this song in my head. It's like I think it came out like in the early 2000s by Carlos Santana with Michelle Branch, The Game of Love. And then so I was like, I just could not get it out of my head. And then I played it, so right. And so like I played it on YouTube and then Smooth came up. And I was like listening to the lyrics and went back and listened to The Game of Love again. And I was like, oh wow, this is like life. Like some people treat love like a game or a I don't know. Some people don't treat love with kindness and patience. They treat it with, they look at what they see on the physical, right? Um, and not what the experience. Sorry, y'all. It's just one of those days. Okay. Some people treat love as like something they see, something physical, something they can touch, something they can hold on to, something tangible, right? But love is a feeling, it's an experience. Like God is love, God is an experience. You can't touch God, you can't see Him, but you feel Him. And that's what love is feeling. I'm gonna get it together. I honestly don't even know why I'm crying. I think I'm just so overwhelmed right now. Um, yeah. Love is a feeling. God is a feeling. So love can't be measured. It can't be something that you put into terms of money or things or value. It has to be experienced as a feeling. So with that being said, the message of this video is the game of love is not smooth. The game of love is not smooth. And these are both songs by Carlos Santana. And we're looking at Second Corinthians chapter 6. I'm sorry. Oh, what chapter is it? I did chapter 4. Let me write that down. I completely forgot to put a chapter on here. All right. Second Corinthians chapter 4, verse 16 through 18. The game of love is not smooth. All right. So, personal experience time. um, I talk a lot about my Airbnb marriage, and what I failed to mention is I was in it for love, right? I am not a person where I am distracted by wealth of like material things, right? Because I feel like I think I've said this before, money comes and goes. Like it's a tool. Like it's how you use it. Not you can't let money like be end all be all to your happiness because you're never gonna be happy if you're waiting on money to come through. Um So I was riding the wave of the feeling. And when the feeling started to like drop or dissipate, or I felt like I was being lied to or manipulated, then it was like I had to start asking God to remove people from me. Like, if it's not supposed to be here, remove it. And I struggle with that sometimes because I think that sometimes I'm like, dang, am I making the right decision? You know, I go back and I wonder if my moves are right. If I'm headed in the right direction in life. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. Bear with me. It's just one. It's just a lot going on, and we're gonna get into that too. Am I making the right decisions? Am I moving right? You know, is there something I could have done differently? But here's the thing: I take comfort in knowing that I did everything that I could do, because since love is a feeling, right? When someone you love is experiencing inner turmoil, like, gosh, I gotta get myself together. You have patience with that person. You don't write them off. You don't you don't you don't make them feel bad about the things they're going through, or you try to understand them, or you, because that's love. You want to keep the feelings. So it's like, I love you, I'm gonna be patient with you, I'm gonna be here for you. Yes, you should have a time limit to how long, no one should deal with mistreatment, but you have to really, if you love someone, you have to give that person your all. It can't be like half in, half out. And that's why I felt like I was dealing with a person who was half in, half out. Because this person was just giving to him. And we're not just talking about like other females. I'm talking about just family, friends, other situations, other things. Like, I was not a priority at all. And that was like the main issue I kept bringing up. Like, I'm not a priority. I'm not a priority. I'm not a priority. Like, everything else takes priority. And like, you come home and you're like, oh, well, hey, how's your day? Like, that wasn't love. That wasn't love. Like, that was in it for something else to me. So I want to talk about inwardness now, because we can see outward love through people, our family, our friends. And, I struggle with that too. Like, am I making the right decision by cutting certain people off? And I don't want to hurt people, but it's like, I gotta save myself. You know what I mean? Like, you wish things could be different, but it's like, based on the information that I know, based on my intuition, based on me having conversations with God, I can't fully move forward with certain people in my life, because it's like, you've already showed me the hand that you like, showed your cards to me. And it hurts, because those are relationships you have to grieve as well. Grieving does not just take place from like a loss of a family member or a loved one. Grieving is losing anything, whether it be your house, your job, your car, your kid. Like, well, I won't say that, but like, if you lose a pet, whatever it is, grieving is mourning a loss of anything. You could lose your computer and grieve because you had so much information on it. You know what I mean? Like, grieving is just experiencing the feelings of a loss. And I think where I'm at now and why I'm so emotional is because, like, I'm really grieving these relationships that I'm like, this is sad, but it's not gonna work. Like, I can't move forward and confidently with these people in my life. And in the beginning, it was like I was laughing because it was like it was a lot for me to take in. But now it's like, wow, I really cannot move forward with these people. And it caused a lot of inward turmoil, right? Because what happens is when you realize these things, you're just like, well, dang, like you feel so alone. Now, I want to make a distinguish. I feel alone, but I don't feel lonely. Does that make sense? Like I'm alone with my in my home, or like I don't really have a lot of family that I consider that I would want to go and spend time with, but I don't feel lonely. I'm very content with my own company. So that's like a saving grace for me, like not feeling lonely. Because people will look at you and think like, oh, you're single, you're alone, you're lonely. It's like, no, I'm actually not lonely. I'm actually like really good being by myself. I'm good being alone. I go places by myself. I go out to eat by like I don't have a problem with doing those things, but some people do. Some people need someone to be around. And I think that me grieving these relationships is finally saying like I don't need anybody around. Like I would want people around, but needing someone, I don't want to be in a position where I need someone. I want to be in a position where I want to be in your company. I want to enjoy you. I want to know that I'm going to have a good time and enjoy our peace and our conversations. That's what I want. I don't need it. I don't need to be around certain people. Inward reflection is hard because it makes you face yourself, your insecurities, your fears, your doubts, the turmoil. Even, like I get on here and I try to give a positive and like uplifting message about what I'm going through and make it fun. But it's like, like today is not like, I'm not sad. I'm just releasing. And when you get to a point of where you're stable and secure within yourself, it's like, I can really release all of that. Like I can let it go and be okay. Yeah, I grieve it. I grieve the relationships and the friendships because I'm like, wow, like, I hate that it had to come to this point, but I'm releasing it. I'm releasing it to the universe. I'm releasing it to God. And I'm like, whatever God sees fit is what he sees fit. I don't put time limits on things anymore. As far as like, oh, well, maybe in a year we could be friends again, or let me just get through this. No, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to want to feel that way again. I don't know. And it's a hard pill to swallow. And I think for some people who are on the opposite end or the receiving end of me backing away, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow because I'm not in a space where I don't even want to, because I'm releasing it. It's like, I'm good. Like I've cried. This is like my way of saying goodbye and I'm good. Because I'm good being alone. Like me being alone doesn't mean I'm lonely. Me being alone because you don't hear from me doesn't mean I'm falling over like dead somewhere. Like that doesn't mean that. That just means like I'm enjoying my time, my company, myself. I'm reflecting a lot inward. I'm making sure that doors are closed, chapters are closed because I want to make space for the new things that come in my life, and the newness. I'm not rushing the newness, but I'm trusting in God and whatever his plan is for me. And, in the meantime, I just move accordingly. Like whatever I feel like doing, I'll do. Like if I want to go out, I'll go out. If I want to go to a restaurant, I'll go to a restaurant. If I decided I want to meet up with a friend, then I'll go meet up with a friend. But it's like I'm doing what I want to do based on a feeling and my intuition. Like, I'm still listening to God, right? But it's like I'm not going to do things where I feel like I'm uncomfortable. And I feel that those were the situations I was in previously. I was doing things and I felt so uncomfortable. I'm not going to be uncomfortable anymore. Like, I want to be just relaxed, comfortable, no stress. Because when you're uncomfortable, you're stressed, you're uneasy. It is easier to knock you off balance. But when you're comfortable and you relax, you take your time and you're just like, okay, you move with the pace. So, inward reflection. So let's look at the game of love. You know, I mentioned earlier, love is not a game. And what I want to tell you, Sunnies, is that the game of love starts from within, but don't play games with yourself. Love starts from within, but don't play games with yourself. Like, truly love who you are. Truly accept the person that you are. I was telling my friend yesterday, we were talking on the phone. I haven't talked to her in a few months with, everything going on, me being in isolation. But we were talking on the phone. She was sharing with me concerns about her kid. And I was like, if he were to have this, what does it change? And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, does it change the way you love him? And she says, no. I said, so why does it matter? And it like made her change her perspective. I was like, if he has something, will it change the way you love him? And she's like, no. And I was like, so why? Don't worry about it. Just let it go. Because it's not going to change anything anyways. So that's the thing. Like, look at yourself. What is it about yourself that you're like, you love, but you don't love? Because there are things that I love about myself, things that I don't love. But here's the thing. Accept the things that you cannot change, right? And change the things you can't, that you can. Like, that's the serenity prayer, right? Accept the things that you cannot change and change the things that you can, and to like know the difference between the two. Accept yourself for who you are. But if there is something in your personality that you're like, I don't like that I do this, then make an effort to change that. Make an effort to switch that behavior. Love really starts from within. Love for God and then love from within. Because once you find love in God, it's easier for you to accept yourself because you understand that God made you perfect in his image. Okay, let me get my phone. Sorry, Sonny's. It's just like I was all the way on the side road. Not on the side of the road, but in my purse. All right. So like when she's like, it just takes a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Started with a kiss. Now we're up to bat. A little bit of laughs, a little bit of pain. I'm telling you, my babe, it's all in a game of love. This is whatever you make it to be. Sunshine will set on the cold, lonely sea. So please, baby, try and use me for what I'm good for. It ain't saying goodbye. That's knocking down the door of your candy store. And then she says, you roll me, control me, console me. Please hold me. You guide me, divide me into what? You roll me, control me, console me. Please hold me. You guide me, divide me into what? I really like this song, y'all. Okay. So you roll me, control. Like, okay. It's all in the game of love. But control yourself to the point where you're understanding God's love for you and you're moving with intention for him, right? Because everything is based on what your motives are. Like, what are your motives? Behind love, what are your motives? So you could say, okay, I love God, but why do you love God? Do you love God because you think that's what you're supposed to do? You love God because that's what you've been taught to do for so long? You love God because you know that he's good and he's working with you? Why do you love God? Because some people love God just because it's like, well, that's what I know, so I'm just going to do it. But it's like, do you truly love God? Because that's a trained thought process. God is a feeling. It's in your heart. You feel that. That's not a trained thought process. That it is what it is. Like, you feel that experience. You will allow God to console you. You allow God to guide you. Right? And this is where it gets really interesting. Okay. So remember we talked about power. Where are you getting your power from? Are you getting it from God or the devil, right? If your power is coming from God, your truth, honesty, forward moving, clarity, and God will test you. God will test you. You guys, I'm telling you, I have been just trying to do the right thing in every aspect of my life, but it's like I couldn't. Here's another reason why it was comforting and I'm releasing all of the emotions from the past is because I couldn't have those people around me and pass the test appropriately because they were giving me mixed information and I'm feeling like, but I knew in my gut that things were not right. You know what I mean? This is where you get your power from God. From the devil. When you lie, when you deceit, when you use tricks, illusions, manipulation, and cause confusion. God he's not confusing. He's clear. He's very clear about why he's here. How about you? He's very clear. He's like, I'm here because I want my children to love me. I want you guys to come to my kingdom. It is a straightforward thing. I'm going to test you in the process, and I'm going to let the devil tempt you. So that's the thing. God tests you, but the devil will tempt you. And you have to have discernment to know the difference between the two. God will test you, but the devil will tempt you. And you got to know, like, what's what? What's what? And sometimes it's difficult to determine, like, what is God? Is this God testing me or is it the devil tempting me? Right? Because sometimes, you got to walk by faith and not by sight. Some things are just, the devil will create a lot of illusions and tricks and things. But sometimes God does things, he allows the devils to do that because that's a test. It's a test to your character. He's trying to see where you're going with it. So, be the sunshine. Sunnies, I need you guys to be the sunshine. When she says sunshine will set on the cold, lonely sea. So please, baby, try and use me for what I'm good for. Let God use you. Let him use you. Let God work through you. God wants to work through you, but he can't work through you if you blocking him off. You're supposed to protect your thoughts and guard your heart, but you can't win if you're not allowing God in. All right, let's look at smooth. You got the kind of loving that'll be so smooth, and give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it. God said, give him your heart, make it real. He said, make it real. He said, tap my name on you so I know it's real. No, he didn't say that. That was Drake. No, but seriously, God is telling you, like, give me your heart, make it real. Like, or else forget about it. Like, I want you to come to me, my kingdom. Oh, what it says, and if you said this life ain't good enough, I will give you my world to lift you up. I will change my life better to suit your mood because you're so smooth. Well, and it's just like the ocean under the moon. Well, it's the same as the emotion that I get from you. You got the kind of loving that could be so smooth. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it. I would sing it, but I don't have the Rob Thomas voice. So I'm not going to play myself. But yes, like, give me your heart, make it real, or let's forget about it. If God is telling you your life isn't good enough, what changes are you going to make? What are you willing to do to let God in? God is like, you need to change this, that, and the third. You'll be like, oh, all right, God, I'm gonna do it. You know, procrastinating. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I am a major procrastinator. Like, I have to work on that. That is a huge negative trait that I have, a quality. I'm not gonna lie, I admit that I'm a procrastinator. But when God tells you to move, you have to be obedient and do so. When God tells you you got to go a certain way, you just got to trust him. For whatever reason, it may not make sense. And you're like, why am I doing this? This is not making any sense. But use your intuition, use your discernment, use your wisdom. Pray for that. And then pray that God, if this is not the way I'm supposed to go, show me different. Bring me on a different course, a different pathway. If you are seeing that I am going astray, please pull me back in closer to you. Draw me near to you, because I don't want to go astray from you. I want to do what's right. My heart is pure. I want to go the right way. So that's why you got to look inward at things, right? So let's look at our Bible verses, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, 16 through 18. For which cause we faint not, but through our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. When you go inward, you are automatically being renewed with God's favor, his anointing. Each day, your cup is being filled. But the outward man will perish. Like, if you are looking at external forces, external things, you're not going to be favored by God. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things that are which are not seen are eternal. I'm telling y'all. I gotta read that part again. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal. Meaning what you see is like you register in your brain, right? Your temporal lobe. But the things that are which are not seen are eternal. Sometimes, you know that song, my mind playing tricks on me. Do, 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 do. Do everybody get a voice? I know that song. My mind playing tricks on me. You know, when you are in the middle of spiritual warfare and you're expanding your wisdom and your discernment of God, it's stretching your spiritual muscles, right? It stretches your brain, because you're understanding that God's IQ, again, is infinite. It's different. It's like we were taught to take it one way, but it's like God's like, no, I can come through you in any path, but you just got to be ready for it. So like, you got to stretch your mind muscles. You got to open yourself up to the possibilities. But again, you have to make sure that it is God's testing you and not the devil tempting you. Because the devil's going to tempt you. He's going to use all kind of tricks and things. And you're like, okay, all right, devil. All right, I got you. But God is like, nah, this is a test. I want to see how you're going to respond to this. I want to see if you're going to fall into the trap. How are you going to make it through? What are you going to do? Because remember, the things that are which are seen are temporal, but the things that are which are not seen are eternal. God wants to change your life. He said, give him your heart to make it real, or else forget about it. I gotta go listen to that song now. It's all in the game of love. The game of love is not smooth. It's not. It's a bumpy ride, because God is testing you and the devil is tempting you. But look inward. What work do you need to do inward to be able to know the difference between the test and the temptations? Because we all fall victim to temptations. I did. That's how my ex-husband got me falling victim to those really temptations. But now I'm in a state where I'm like, okay, God, just test me. And when I'm ready for whatever you have in store, then I know he's going to do it. But in the meantime, while God is testing me, I have to also prepare myself. I have to get myself ready, right? My spiritual muscles are stretching. My faith is stretching. My wisdom is stretching. I'm growing in God. It's beautiful. It's hard because you have to release a lot of things, right? So that's why I keep going like a little emotional. But the release is good because you have to release the old to bring into the new. All right, sunny vibes. Oh, sunny vibes. You guys, I love you, Sunny. Stay humble. Be like your community day. Pay it forward with a random act of kindness. Spread love, light, and positivity. Y'all, I'm telling you, spiritual warfare is real. Are you gonna let God test you, or are you gonna let the devil tempt you? Right? Go inward. Sometimes you gotta go deep. All right, take care. Love you guys. Stay humble.